Hi, I'm Chef David Baruthio, World Master Chef of France, Maître Cuisinier de France. I'm very happy to be here at Bistro 19 at the Legacy Golf Course. Well, first of all, I'm in this business because I like to cook because I love to please people. You know, it's the idea of preparing a meal and then obtain instant gratification on pleasing people. Yeah, if you want to be a good chef or a good cook and want to really do something that is successful in that, you will have to be able to have the will of pleasing the people you cook for. That's the fundamental basics. Yeah, so my culinary journey started really, first of all, I did not want it to be a chef. I wanted to be an archaeologist. You know, when I was a little kid, I dreamed of Indiana Jones traveling the world. So I studied history and because I wanted to travel a lot. And then, you know, I was very fortunate. I got raised by a family that was in the culinary world, in industry, very successfully in France. And so I spent my childhood raised by my grandmother because my parents were busy traveling, and my grandmother was, you know, had a chalet in the mountains where we will go on weekends and holiday in winter picking mushroom, wild berries, and we had a cherry tree and apricot tree in the yard, and my grandfather will go hunt a deer and bring it home. So I grew up with people that the food was a root of our culture. Eating, being exposed to good food. My grandparents will go on a Sunday after church, sit down for 4 hours, you know, in those long dinners in very high-end restaurant. And then in summer, I spend in south of France at the Mediterranean Riviera, being exposed to seafood, olive oil, tomato, which kind of makes it an interesting twist in my cooking style because I'm very, you know, I can cook seafood, I can cook a steak, I can cook, you know, farm to table. And so on weekend, when I grew up, I needed to pay for my studies, you know, and have some pocket money. I will go and intern with a very famous master chef who became a mentor and a father for me, Hubert Metz. And he was a Michelin star rated restaurant. And I helped washing dishes, clean salad, and someday he came to me and say, I think there's something about you in cooking. You have that natural talent for it, and I want to take you under my wings and drop regular history college and come and intern. I'll pay your study. And for some reason, I decided to do that, and then I went full to it. So I did a 3 years apprenticeship with him. Then I moved to another Michelin star restaurant to do my bachelor degree, and then started traveling the world, you know, worked for Gordon Ramsay in London on one of his first restaurants, which was at that time called Aubergine. Then I was a very young prominent chef, so I moved to north of England. There's a billionaire person that hired me to be a sous chef in his castle. I did that, and on Easter, while I was Easter weekend, you know, busy industry, my head chef broke his ankle and he couldn't work anymore and got promoted chef de cuisine. And at that time I win North America Young Chef of the Year, became Michelin Award myself. You know, a lot of things really happened, and I was very young. I was like 26, 27 years old. Then I opened my own restaurant, was very successful for 3-4 years with my brother, and then we got tired of UK. Then I wanted to, you know, I believed I was, even so I was successful of operating a restaurant, it wasn't good enough for me. I felt I needed to learn more. I was too young. I couldn't be just the one teaching others. And I started traveling the Caribbean, you know, Switzerland, Germany, Asia, where I really spent 2 years in Asia, opening in Mongolia, the first 5-star resort in the world, in that part of the world. And we won Small Luxury Hotel of the World in Mongolia, in the middle of nowhere, you know. Then I came to, I was Michelin awarded in Belgium, where I run a boutique hotel, fine dining restaurant. And while I was doing that, I was invited to go as a consultant in Iowa to open a restaurant in Des Moines, in East Village, for somebody else. And then from there, it took me to Los Angeles, where I became for the Hermitage, the famous Hermitage restaurant, boutique hotel on Burton Way in Beverly Hills, where I cooked for all the stars, to name a few. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Will Smith. I'm friend with Forrest Whitaker. I did private event for Robert Redford, and then I dated a girl from Iowa, and she said, I'm not moving to LA, and she convinced me to come there. Then a little short trip in Canada, spent 9 months in Canada, also in a very nice establishment, and came back and opened Baru 66, who became, an iconic restaurant in Iowa, in Des Moines. Did that for 10 years, sold it. Then right before COVID, moved to Switzerland, run a place there, still have, residency and property over there. And then came back after COVID, wrote a book. I wrote a cookbook that is getting published as we speak, which is called Let Food Bring Us Together. And then I went to Clear Lake to some friends, took over the Surfside and other couple things that I'm doing, maintain our catering, and then met the Pritchard family, and I believe in their project here. I was very excited and decided to partner with them to create Bistro 19 today. And now we also have Café Madeleine, which is the true fine dining experience in Des Moines that we just opened 3 weeks ago that is very successful. Tasting menu, wine pairing only, reservation required, and here I am today. To make it short, I like to let the product speak by itself. On my very little free time, I'm also a farmer where I grow my own product here in a small town in Belmont with my wife and some friends, and so I'm a product-oriented person. I want to see a product, touch a product, smell a good product, and from there it's like it stimulates my mind, and I start playing around, having hundreds of ideas going into my head. But it really is, I think I'm a product-oriented person. Everybody asks me, what's your favorite thing to cook? I don't think I have a favorite thing to cook. I think I get excited about an ingredients, and from there I build things. I think for me it's a good ingredients. Good food is good chopping and a good technique, just keep it simple. If you have a good ingredient, let the ingredient speak to it by itself. You have to, I think the identity of a chef comes from a tradition, that it's culinary or childhood. At some point in your life, right, you have an event or a memento that marks you, right? And then you build on that. For me, I think the root is, like I said, I was very fortunate I was raised by people that food had the fundamental values in their life. And also they were, comfortable, wealthy people, so we were always, having the best of everything to eat. And I think, and I think that's where my background is, just good food, good ingredients, and then I travel, go take a little bit of spice from that part of the world, incorporate to that technique. But I think it's the memento. I think I'm kind of started when I was 8-9 years old, and if you do buy my book, you will have the full story. First of all, look at outside, right? I'm an outdoor guy. I can't be locked in the place, right? And when I came here and I saw that the outside and the resource that was giving to us, I really wanted to create something that is approachable, to a certain degree affordable also, but I wanted to be a place where people come like a rendezvous. You have probably one of the best golf course in the state here, right? And that motivates me, and the ability to set up nice table, where people come in here. It's like you come to my home, It's like the idea is if I invite you to come and dine at my house on Sunday, you want to feel at home, and that is what excites me here. Concept of vision, well, first of all, we had to do a little market study, right? And we're in Iowa, so people like their steak and like their potato, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm a steak and potato kind of guy as well. But then I decided that if we're gonna do that, we are gonna have the best steak available. So we're very proud to say that in the county, we are officially You know, the only restaurant that has certified Black Angus on its menu, meaning that all our breed of meat that we're serving have been hand-selected, come from a certified breed and source, and we will not compromise on that quality. I do not want to sell a piece of meat that is not the ultimate best.
You mentioned the steak already, but what are some of the other signature dishes people can expect?
Great pasta. You know, if you're not a steak person, you come here, you have great pasta. We cook an amazing marinara sauce, which is an ancestral recipe that I've been doing. We have also beautiful fish. We have constantly, there's some feature and special that evolves with the season. If I speak to my purveyor and say, hey, I have amazing fish or sea bass or scallops, there will be constantly going things. If you're a vegetarian, no problem at all, because I like to work with veg. We have interesting vegetarian dishes, like for example, our cauliflower steak that is grilled to order, which is amazing with a special maple and lime glaze and cashew nuts. We have our carrot dish, Greek carrot dish appetizer with Greek yogurt and different flavors. So we really have a little bit for everybody. If I come and eat here, and I'll start with the lobster bisque. I'll probably continue with our bone-in ribeye, where you can add some, you can add some foie gras to our steak as well. And our peppercorn sauce is really, really good. So, and probably a limoncello cheesecake for dessert.
What advice would you give to anyone who's like an aspiring chef or wanting to get started?
Very simple. Ask yourself, and I have encountered some great chef. I have made some great chef in this state. You know, a young apprentice that did very well. You know, first of all, be ready to work when everybody are gonna party, because you're the entertainer, not the entertained one. So that's very important to understand that. Be ready to work long hours, and also ask yourself, do I really want to? You know, I mean, it is a stressful job, you know, you're constantly in the heat, in the action, and all that, you know, it can be very stressful, but be wanted to have the aptitude. You are in this business and you're going to be successful at it only if you really want to please others. If you're not, if your nature is not to please others, you will fail.
If you could cook for anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
It will be for my grandmother. Oh no, she's deceased. Because I wanna show her what I did with all the good stuff she passed on to me. I'm very excited about what, you know, the Pritchard family and myself trying to bring here to this community, and I'm hopeful that people are gonna understand it and support it, and also be cherishing that we really do that here, you know. So thank you for having me.